Oh yeah, it's recording right now. Hello guys, girls and everything else. I had some technical difficulties. Um, but right now, I'm back. So, yeah, back to pets. Before, we did all of the animal companions for you. Right now, I'm going to go over familiars and how they work. So, basically, we start off with a familiar feat, like I got at level 6 over here. Then we go to the familiar, then we go to enhanced familiar, and then improved familiar, and lastly incredible familiar. So, oh yeah, sure. Well, officially this is a cargo pants video because someone interrupted me during recording. I made sure 100% that I'm at the best time not to be interrupted, but everyone comes in to interrupt me. It's my life. Let's go over this. So we got our familiar at the start. Whenever we got to level 6. So let's go to level 6. Okay guys, and then as you can see we have two abilities for familiars. Um, all familiars are tiny. All of them have land speed of 25. You can also get their abilities for familiars, like over here you have Flyer, which gives you 25% fly speed. And you have all of the cool stuff, but I will explain that later. Your familiar can be anything that is tiny, any small animal, pretty much anything. Same like I explained with companions, at least I believe before I was tired. They can be anything. Over here is a bird, but you know, as it was stated, um, it can be an eagle, it can be a hawk, or it can be an owl. And these are just examples. You can have way more birds. For example, with terror bird, you can have like a giant dodo bird, and you can have an ostrich. So, as we said, as I stated before, at first your familiar starts with two familiar abilities that you can select. Then, when you get the enhanced familiar feat, which over here I specifically took at level 10, you get two more abilities. Then there's the improved familiar feat, which I selected at level 12, that which over here you just if you want to have a specific familiar, then well you don't need as much abilities for that, and then you get at level 16 incredible familiar, which is more good stuff, aka two more abilities. So let's go over all of the abilities, shall we? um, First one is, oh yeah, better go over this one first. First one over here. Yeah. First one we have a accompanist. So as you can see, if your familiar is trying to, for example, perform, it gets a bonus. Why performance? Because with performance you can basically draw attention to your familiar instead of you. And you know, if your familiar dies, it will just respawn. Then ambassador. Your familiar knows how to accuse or focus on Q. Despite being a minion, gets one reaction instead. So yeah, it gets one reaction because usually familiars just have, I believe, two actions. Let's just check this one out. Familiars. Five hit points for each level. Remember, that's how you calculate the ability, but you know, remember yeah, they gain two actions and that's all of this. Familiar dies, you can spend a week of downtime to replace it at no cost. But you know, downtime is probably usually lowered. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to familiars, but ambassador allows you, essentially they can aid you, which you know, if you aid and you succeed, you give +1 bonus, and if you critically succeed on an aid check, aka you roll like your ally would roll and you also get a critical success, then well, you also get this. And amphibious, it gains a swim speed, but as far as I see, it doesn't really grant you water breathing, but I'm pretty sure that all of the DMs probably give it water breathing with it. And then augury. Over here, it's a requirement. It needs to be a psychopomp familiar. And it can use augury. Augury is a real funny spell because it's one of not many spells that are low level and can derail the campaign, you know. All the cool stuff that can derail the campaign is usually saved for later levels. So yeah, little funny thing, augury is at level 2. Now burrower, it gains barrel speed of 5 feet. And it can dig tiny holes that other tiny creatures can move through. So yeah, climber, of course, 25 speed, damage avoidance. So yeah, damage avoidance, which gives you all of the bonuses to saves. So yeah, essentially, damage avoidance makes it so, essentially, it works that it takes no damage, but in most cases, it just works like that, that success turns into a critical success. That's pretty much the same thing. In most cases. So over here on Fortitude, Reflex and Will. Now Darker. Oh yeah. Another one that is related to Shadowcaster. Sure, your familiar naturally recovers in shadows. So yeah, it can heal when it's in shadow. Dark vision, wow, it gives it dark vision. Yeah, oh yeah, also forgot to tell you, I do believe that every familiar has low light vision, right? I think. Yeah, every familiar gains low light vision, so it's already a good thing if you're a human or like something that doesn't have a specific vision. Then elemental spirit. It needs to be an elementalist familiar. Yeah, it becomes invisible with air. With earth, it gains resistance to physical damage equal to half your level. With fire, well, it is essentially like a campfire. And with water, it becomes slippery like a fish, or it can just turn into water, I believe. Which, yeah, with elemental spirit, I I think that because all of them are named the same and there's not like a specific thing that says that you can select it multiple times, I believe that you can select it. You can, even though there's are separate abilities, then you can select only one of them. Or maybe it's wrong, but I would personally allow my players to pick. I always allow for more options, that's why I always use the free archetype variant rule, as you can see. Fast movement. Over here, it increases your speed from 25 feet to 40. But I want to check it lower. Oh, it doesn't have for barrel speed. It doesn't have barrel speed. So yeah, flyer. Essentially what I picked, which gains you 25 feet of flying. Um, focus rejuvenation. Yeah. Whenever you refocus, then your familiar gets healed. Gills. Now it can breathe water, so yeah, right now I see that right now it's actually balanced. Okay, I understand. Now amphibious doesn't really mean amphibious, that just means swimmer. Over here is the real thing that allows you to be amphibious. Grasping tendrils. Yeah, you need to have a Leshy familiar, and it has a better reach than independent because if there's like this little thing, something is in brackets, then you need it's either a choice like over here, or over here you need to have a land speed for that, and it also boosts land, or here Leshy because you need it to be Leshy. So if you don't command your familiar, it gains one action. Typically you should choose that, but your DM can. Important, speak to your DM about this. Communication is key. Now it can use manipulate actions. So I'm wondering if this means that it can just activate magic items or something, or just activate items or attack with that. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, so yeah, it helps you steal stuff, but not smuggle. Smuggling is stealth, but if you want to take something without anyone noticing, then you use thievery, sometimes also deception. But if you want to hide the item and just go out with it, then you use stealth. Then plant form. So yeah, over here. Pretty cool, right? No, poison. That's another one. That's the second one. That's the second interruption. So yeah, double. Yeah, if there's someone that's just completely um, counts this, then please just type it in the comments somewhere. I'm really curious. So if you have a homunculus, you can do this, which yeah, that guy can poison like weapons. Pretty cool. Purify air. Your familiar recycles air, providing enough oxygen for a medium creature. Yeah, that's a pretty cool concept. Over here. Remove flammable pump. So yeah, puppet. Yeah, that literally removes being flammable from puppets. Resistance. Choose two of the following. Ooh. Okay, that's actually kind of cool, I think, but it, I'd say that's kind of crazy because for each of these feats you get like two abilities, and resistance is one ability, which gives you two resistances, and mostly like druid has like a poison resistance, you know, poison resistance, poison resistance for alchemist and druid. Yeah, it just gives you status bonus and resistance. So yeah, that's like that's like every single one of these resistances feels kind of like 2 feet, you know. It feels kind of like 2 feet because plus one is not. I mean, plus one is kind of a deal, so you can say that it counts like a 1 feet, but you know that's still kind of crazy because you get two of these abilities for 1 feet. But your familiar will be probably weak because it gains like literally 5 HP per every level. So at level 20 it will have like 100 HP. So yeah. Also the character I'm making, I will probably use it. Scent. It gains imprecise scent of 30 feet. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think. Shadow Step. Of course, Shadowcaster, our friend. Dear friend, Shadow Step action. Yeah, if you're in dim light or darkness, if you're a place that is at least as dark as my room, then you can teleport 30 feet across it. Now skilled. Yeah, because normally your familiar gains only acrobatics and stealth, I think, and yeah, now it essentially gains untrained improvisation on 2 skills. That's why I think that resistance is a little bit broken because, you know, over here you have a general, essentially a strength of a general feat. That's not really even a general feat. You get something that is weaker than untrained improvisation that is 3rd level general feat. And you get something that is worth like like 1 or 2 2nd level feats with resistance. So I think that resistance is slightly better, but you know, it kind of is, I think, balanced because familiars are mostly used for skills, for scouting and stuff like that. So yeah, Snoop. Yeah, I mean, helping you gather information is pretty cool. Soul Sight, Life Sense. Oh yeah, Life Sense is a pretty cool ability. Hmm, it makes me kind of feel sorry that you need a psychopomp familiar for that. Speech. Oh, it speaks one language you know. That's pretty cool. I mean, you have already like telepathy, essential. Essentially, you will generally understand the basic premise of what your familiar wants to tell you. So yeah, it would be better if your familiar knew a language that you don't know, so it can like translate it for you. Spellcasting. Yeah. I mean that may be a bit loose. That may be a bit cool, useful. I mean, um, it can use it for like a utility spell, like lucky number maybe. Every day you can just cast one lucky number, or it can use like mage armor, I think, on you. But it's better to like use braces of magic. But low level spells, it would be pretty cool. Another Psychobomb familiar requirement. Your familiar can touch incorporeal creatures. If you have the spell, deliver master ability from familiar the spell delivers. Gains the benefit of Ghost Touch. Oh yeah, Ghost Touch. It's not really that useful, I think, but if you have a campaign with a lot of ghosts that are ghosts that you fight, then you will probably already get Ghost Touch from somewhere. And if it's not like a ghost focused campaign and there will be ghosts, there will be probably just specifically like made made like that specifically so you won't touch them because they're a plot device. Mm, so yeah, that one I don't really know. Um, yeah, so thread display. Yeah, essentially that's essentially just intimidating our skill fit, and that's a skill fit, while we have over there like a class fit. So that's why I think it's not really all that balanced. But for the uses that you use, it can be pretty cool. Touch telepathy. If they share a language, so yeah, you probably if you want this, yeah, you probably want this only if you have speech. Tough, yeah, that one's that one's actually good because it gives you like 2 extra hit points per level, so you will have 140. That's essentially just like 40% increase of health. That's pretty good. Tremor sense. Pretty self-explanatory. Valet? 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 Um, that's pretty interesting. Verdant Burst. Yeah. So if your familiar dies, these are Leshy, of course. Yeah, so essentially right now you can have like once per week, but your DM will probably shorten it. You can have essentially like a healing grenade for you. Or maybe like a bait to throw to like enemy zombies. That would be pretty cool. Wave sense. Another self-explanatory thing. Cantrip connection. You can prepare additional cantrip. Yeah, that's additional cantrip. So over here it's like one class fit yet again, because you know like additional cantrip. Like that's a half. That's not even one class fit like before. That's half a class fit, you know, because normally you would have like two class fits, you know. Normally, I mean not two class fits. I mean like there's the um, cantrip expansion feat that allows you to prepare two cantrips extra, while over here you have one cantrip extra, and I do believe it's only if you're you know familiar works like that. So extra regent. Oh yeah, that's for alchemical familiars pretty much. Just I do believe. Familiar focus. It can use two actions to retrain your focus point. Once per day. Yeah, that's kind of like a desperate prayer, but it actually costs an action for you because you need to command your familiar with one action for it to get two actions. So it can just do this. With desperate prayers from champions, you get one. You get like not even one action, you get it for a free action. Innate Search. Once per day, you draw upon your familiar's innate magic to replenish your own. You can cast one innate spell granted from an ancestry. Yeah, that's. Mm, it's pretty cool depending on what you have now. If your familiar would be reduced to 0 HP by damage as a reaction with concentrate, you can take the damage. Oh, I don't think that you would want that. Probably if your familiar is something that you don't want to die, just give it a flyer ability. And then only enemies that can shoot can actually hit it. Or just to make it run away. Really, that's all it really needs to do. Like it can move 80 feet away. With flying, if you have both the flyer and fast flyer, it can just run for 30 feet if you just have the fast movement. Then it can just like with your one action like run 80 feet. Okay, so recall familiar. You can use a free action activity which has concentrate to teleport your familiar to your space. It can work pretty well if you have the telepathic thing and your familiar is scouting for you in like some evil guy's castle, and then for example like someone actually caught the familiar and you don't want to lose the information, then just use it and poof, your familiar is back. Your familiar is back, and then yeah, and then you essentially retrieve the information.
Będziesz Jan ma powiedz?
Yeah. Number 3. Mm, once per day, your familiar can use two actions. Concentrate trait to give up some of its animating energy to heal you. Need. What? Like, okay, wait. You just restore the hit point, but it says that it gives up some of its energy, so it doesn't sacrifice its life. That's kind of weird, but cool. Sure senses. Pretty cool. Also for spying. Spell battery. Oh. It can cast a spell basically. That okay, spell delivery. You can cast a spell with a range of touch through your familiar. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Like, for example, mm, you give your, for example, like familiar, you make it like stick to the enemy's back, so the enemy can't remove it, and then you just basically run away and use like chill touch, maybe with your familiar or something. That could be pretty cool. Like one action to just get and jump on the enemy, and then just like for the other two actions just use chill touch. That would be pretty cool. Tattoo transformation. Yeah, it can like hide pretty well. I do. You need a Davin MSR fit. Mm-hmm. So it's basically the same as the one that is like partner in crime that helps you. Just for religion. Yeah, all the fast movements we know. Greater resistance just increases the resistances. Sure. Can speech. Can speak with animals of the same species. Lab assistant. Yeah, that's another one for alchemists. Because alchemists must be like on the edge of being spellcasters and on the edge of being like marshals. But I can just say the same pretty much for maguses, um, summoners, and yeah, that's pretty just them. Pretty much just them. And oh yeah, and also like and also like rogues that can like, because they can like choose a dedication fit for free to multi-classing. Um, Luminous. Divine Emissary once again, which I'm gonna check what is this. The wait. Oh no, it's Divine Emissary. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Oh yeah, it works on witches. Yeah, witches get like bonuses for their familiars. They get extra two abilities, just straight up, just extra two abilities, no question. They're essentially like wizards, but instead of getting extra spell slots, they get extra abilities for. They get like extra abilities for their familiars. Yeah, I know. Like wizards also have the bonded item thing, and that's their thing usually. They have the bonded item. Mm, but witches also have their hexes. So yeah, pretty much every class in Pathfinder has like two specific things about them. Also, I'm working on a class. Maybe later. Yeah, that just turns it into a flashlight. Yeah, major resistance. Once again, resistance. Cool. Oh yeah, and once again, master's form. Yeah, so it can basically be your clone. So you can essentially turn your alchemical familiar into your clone. That's that sounds kind of messed up, but you know it's still alchemist and it's all fictional, so sure. Another divine emissary one. At least at least from what I see, I probably won't need to put up with more like shadowcaster stuff. Your familiar can draw upon deity to cast one spell. You cast one version of heal. That is too low, slots lower than you have. Sure. Radiant. Resistance to evil and negative damage equals to half your level. Sure. I mean, it can be good if you're running like a campaign that is focused around like the evil planes or undead. It can be good in both of these situations. Second opinion. Despite being convenient, guess one reaction. To aid your or recall knowledge. On a recall knowledge skill check. Oh, sure. Automatically succeeds at the check with those skills. Crit skills. No master. Yeah, so yeah, essentially just gives you a bonus. Cool, and tool bear, once again, alchemical one. Yeah, so it allows you to carry tools. Wow, nobody expected that. So yeah, personally, I want this little familiar to be another like little owl, whimsical owl. So the spirit of air. Yeah, I will give it the spirit of air. I will give it probably like dark vision, maybe. Tough, probably. Or wait, I will give it like speech. For it to speak common. Mm, gather senses. So, sure. I'm a magus, so I think that's nautical familiar focus would be pretty good for that because conflict spells help me really much. So yeah, now I have Bertie, and I don't know because just to make my oh yeah, I forgot that part completely. So yeah, let's if this was a bird and it was Bertie, then they just name it Tuka. Yeah, I believe that you got the thing. Young hybrid. Ooh. It's a floating swarm of gemstones. Current ability is free. So we are incredible familiar lower that. Young stone reservoir. To hold the alien spot. But it cannot walk, but you know, it still flies. Constructed, which means that. And it's completely destroyed at 0 hit points instead of unconscious. And it's weak to Sonic. I'm not fine. Air Wisp. Wisps are tiny elemental beings. Cool, it's an elemental, so... Air Wisps gain flight, Earth Wisps gain Burrower. They get greater resistance to fire, and Water Wisps get amphibious. But do not get gills, because don't be happy. Bonus to damage rolls with elemental stuff. Completionist. Calligraphy worm. So it just kind of sounds like pseudo dragon. And if you're wondering why there are like 7 abilities and it's 6, once again, skilled gives you 2 abilities. Just remember, and ink spray. You can spray ink with 2-foot cone. Yeah, I do believe it can like just give you ink, so you can like write. Yeah, yeah, another thing that I said. Literally just Seru. Small offense. Turn fate. Sure. Hmm. Yeah, that kinda sounds cool. It essentially gives you kind of D&D advantage, disadvantage stuff. Clockwork Familiar. Oh, that's long, that's too long. Clockwork. It can wind up all of the clockwork stuff. It's constructed, so we all know what constructed does. I already told you. Vulnerable, so it has like weakness to them. Of course, all the weaknesses are to half your level. I said before, this time electricity. Screen. Mm, once per minute, it can give you +1 bonus to intimidation. The good standby mode. Yeah, that's cool, but it has like a minus. And wait, it requires abilities free, but it just requires dark vision. That's kind of weird. Corgi. Corgi dog. Yeah, and it just requires sand. So yeah, it's small and now you can ride it. Pretty cool. Crawling hand. It's 5 abilities but has like 3 required. Lend a hand, quite literally. Assist an ally. And 2 attack rolls. That's kind of funny and undead. Yeah. Immune to all of the stuff like this and destroyed at 0. Duo Mercat Cab. Yeah, what is dual mercat? I'm going to copy that. Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be a duomer cat, like more like duomer rat. To me, it doesn't really look like a cat. It looks more like an. If you look closely, it kind of resembles a tiger, even though it's duomer cat. But literally, like when you look at it from like this distance, it more looks more like an malnourished rat to me. So yeah, just pause the video right now to just check all of this stuff over here that it gives you, because I don't feel like reading all of this. And you can innately cast first level detect magic. It doesn't say once per day, so maybe at will. Earth Wisp. Oh yeah, we already went over Air Wisp, so you don't need House Drake. It has a breath weapon, of course arcane. I was really surprised when like Barbarian got all of the dragon stuff primal, pretty much. Even though all of the stuff is like arcane for dragons. Dragons are arcane creatures. Mm. Yeah, it stupefies enemies, so it can be good against enemy spellcasters. Your house drag breathes with one of your weapons. Okay, sure. A tenacious mind. No. Reactions. Ferocious will. Arcane operation. Magical feedback. Deals mental damage to enemy. And well, House Drake, since it requires manual dexterity, I think it needs to be for an alchemist. So yeah, Imp. We all know Imp is like a devil guy. Infernal Temptation. You gain the Infernal Temptation thing. Pretty cool. No soy. Yeah, I think it's a psychopomp thing. Yeah, I think Nosoi is like is the psychopomp bird, right? Copy that. Yeah, it's probably the bird that wears like a plague doctor mask, I think. Oh yeah, that's Nosoi. This time I remember to negative and poison damage equal to half your level and haunting melody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty good. Like it fascinates enemy. Pretty cool. Though it needs manual dexterity, which once again just lend me this. Yeah, manual dexterity. Ability type familiar. Oh no, manual dexterity doesn't require you. Oh, yeah. I mixed it up with the second one. Sorry. But yeah, it already has dark vision, flyer, and manual dexterity, so I'll probably make this one no soy for a second. Old friends. These are goats. Oh, it says once per hour before it doesn't say. So I assume that the second one before that was at will. Like ghosts are bound to say they're buried. Creature with anchored through physical creatures. It cannot grapple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's immune to grappling, but it cannot grapple. But um, honestly, with that guy, you could probably just only grapple like very small things. So yeah, I will later rearrange abilities to be able to pick the Nosoi guy. So yeah, Pipe Fox. Yeah, divinations. Oh yeah, it speaks all languages you know instead of just one. So really good if you're a witch maybe, and something that is based on intelligence usually. Then it's really good. Mm, Prolong. Invisible creatures. Yeah, so you can see it's pretty scary. It's undead, so we know what it means. Over here we before said this, no grappling and stuff like that. Prolonged possession. Attempts to possess will save. Yeah, it cannot control the creature, but it drains the creature. That's pretty cool. Puppet. Yeah. No. You don't want a puppet. And Shadow Familiar. Oh, yeah. It can hide and sneak even if it's in a shadow, just a shadow. Then the ability familiar gains into your body. Then master's form. So I'm not even gonna say that before that it needs to be alchemical thing because I'm probably gonna be wrong and corrected. Uh, it cancels all resistance except force if it does for like a moment. Spell slime. So yeah, immune to crits, which is good against like a lot of bows and stuff like that against any ranged enemy with defense and slime rejuvenation. Yeah, I don't understand the rejuvenation part, but sure. Talking head. Yeah, I'm 100. I'm 100% sure that it's the reference to the band. You know, like talking heads. Head with roll. Oh, that's brutal. You can kick it to move it 30 feet, but it can just roll for 15 feet and it's undead. Yeah, I don't think I do like that. Oh yeah, and another wisp. So over here I can, I think, pick no soy. So yeah, for sure over here I will pick the fast flying movement. This one will be probably like other stuff like tough. Yeah, so the moment I hit like level 10, then I will probably be able to use that one. And speech. Oh no, I already have speech. Instead of speech, I will probably give it like touch telepathy, maybe. Wait, where's the little thing I... Spell delivery, yeah. I think that this one could be pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all the familiar's abilities, I think. At least. It can just also start with flying speed. So yeah, it has all of the skills like this. So that's pretty much it. I think that it allowed you to like help you find what you want to do with your familiar. And yeah, remember to, I don't know, I have no idea. I don't have a cartridge yet. I, I'm still new to this YouTuber shtick, so I don't know. All I can really say is probably signing off, but it would be like boring. So remember to not eat worms, I think. And also, wait. I have no idea why it has like 5 feet barrel speed over here. Probably something broken with pathfinder, or I just forgot to read something important. But yeah, all I know is that it has flying feet at 25. That's so. Anyway, signing off. Just signing off.